Hi, welcome to Detailing World's Back to Basics series. In today's video, we're going to be looking at decontamination. Now, you may be wondering what this is. You've possibly heard of it before when you hear about people talking about clay in the car and clay bars, but you may not be aware of what claying actually is. There's also chemical decontamination as well, which we're going to get into today. So decontamination is the process that follows washing of the car, but before polishing or any waxing. And what you're looking at doing here is removing any tar, iron or any other contaminants from your paintwork that wasn't able to be removed by a regular wash. So for this video, all you're really going to need then is a dedicated tar remover, an iron remover, and possibly a clay bar. That is optional. You will also need a couple of microfiber cloths. If you're going with a clay barring option, you will need some clay lube and also access to running water to give the car a rinse down afterwards. So the first stage of decontamination is chemical decontamination, and the first part of chemical decontamination is tar removal. Now you will see this all over your car, particularly if you've got a white car or a light coloured car, and it's all the little black deposits, typically around the rear, at the back end of the front wheels, and also up the rear bumper. But you can get tar anywhere on the car, even on the wheels itself. But the biggest build-up tends to be at the back of the wheels. So what you need to do first of all is obviously make sure the area is clean. You should have already done a wash by now, and then apply your tar remover. So today we're going to be using the Dodo Juice Supernatural Tar and Glue Remover. They do also have a product called Tarmalade, which is more of a paste kind of product, and you dab that onto large pieces of tar. But for regular specks of tar, the Dodo Juice Supernatural Tar and Glue Remover will be enough. So it's important to mention first of all, really you want to be doing this in the shade and out of direct sunlight. You do not want the product to dry onto the car whatsoever, so keep it topped up and keep an eye on it at all times. Have your microfiber to hand and ready. So working from the front wheel to the back of the car, spray on your tar remover. And if you wait about 30 to 60 seconds, you should notice brown streaks coming down your car, and that is a tar dissolving, and that is a tar remover doing that for you. Give it a minute or so, and then wipe your microfiber over that lightly. You shouldn't need any pressure. Don't go picking, don't go scratching at the tar. You're only going to scratch your paintwork. So just rub your microfiber over there lightly and see how much comes off. It may require 2 or 3 hits to do this. It's just a case of being patient and just keep going until your paintwork looks nice and clean. Once you've done one side, move on to the other side. If possible, turn your car around if you need to get it into the shade. If that's not possible, like I said, just stay with it and just don't let it dry on at all. If it looks like it's about to dry, either apply some more or wipe it off and then reapply again, and just keep repeating the process. So once all the tar has been removed, then you're going to want to get your pressure washer or hose pipe and just give the area a thorough rinse down. You don't want to be mixing chemicals onto your paintwork. It's just a good idea to avoid that at all. So with the paintwork clear of any tar, you're going to want to move on to the second part of chemical decontamination, which is iron removal. And for this, you're just going to need a dedicated iron removing product. We are going to be using the Dodo Juice Ferris Dweller. This is very, very much like tar removal as well. It's a case of just working front to back. And again, iron can get everywhere, more so than tar. Iron comes from your brake pads and discs, a bit of fallout from that. If you work, park at or live near a train station, you'll probably get iron coming from there. And just industry in general, iron will cover your car. And this looks like little orange specks on your paintwork. And again, more noticeable on light coloured cars, but it does affect all cars. So yes, onto the process then. Just like tar, you're going to want to start from the front and work your way back. You can also spray iron removing products onto your wheels as well if you need to. And you can do this now, or you can do this earlier in the stage when you're cleaning the wheels itself. Like most iron products then, you'll spray that on, and this time you won't see the iron dissolve as such, but you'll see the chemicals turn purple, and that lets you know that iron is there and it's lifted and remove those away. Now you can, if you wish, wipe that off with a microfiber cloth, a separate microfiber cloth to what you use to clean the tar off with, or you can just go straight ahead and rinse it off with a pressure washer or hose pipe. I typically like to remove some with a microfiber and then just rinse it off afterwards. You can go ahead and do this a second time. You shouldn't really need to, but if you've got a lot of iron buildup on there, it may require 2 hits, but generally speaking, 1 should be enough. So before we talk about clay barring, I just want to say a big thank you to Dodo Juice for sponsoring this series. Everything you see me use today in this video, you've got a chance of winning this. So that will be the Dodo Juice Supernatural Tar and Glue Remover, the Dodo Juice Ferris Dweller, the Clay Lube Born Slippy, a medium grade clay bar, and then a couple of microfiber cloths as well to help you remove the tar and iron products. So yes, once again, thank you very much for Dodo Juice sponsoring this. We'll get to the end of the video and I'll tell you how you can win that. So once the chemical decontamination stage is all complete, the car should be now clean and rinsed and free of any chemicals on the paintwork at all. You're going to want to grab your clay bar and basically just cut it in half first of all, because if you drop that clay bar, you will have to throw it. It will pick up stones and grit off the floor, and the last thing you want to do is rub that over the car. So good practice is cut your clay bar into halves, thirds or quarters. Just cut it into small manageable chunks and work that into the palm of your hands. Let it warm up a bit, flatten it out into a disc, and you just want to fold that up into your fingers or the palm of your hand. Also, make sure you remove any rings or watches on the hand that you're going to be using the clay bar with. Again, you don't want to be accidentally scratching your own paintwork during this stage. With the clay bar ready then, you just need to apply your clay lubricant. So in this case, the Born Slip It. Spray that all over the panel. Do one panel at a time and just work that clay bar. No pressure required whatsoever. Light overlapping passes across the panel that you're working. So in this case, the bonnet. And you can kind of hear it and feel it picking up other contaminants that the iron and the tar removing products have not been able to get. So this is the last final stage and it will make your paintwork feel like glass. Speaking of which, if this is the first time you've ever used a clay bar, I would recommend just practicing on a window first. You're not going to scratch that up or anything like that. So get a feel for it and then move on to the paintwork. So once you feel comfortable with the clay bar, then you can move on to your paintwork. And again, just like all the previous steps, it's a case of just being methodical. So work from top down, start on the roof, onto the bonnet, and then just work in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction around your car, doing one panel at a time. And again, it's just spray on the product onto the panel and then rub the clay bar over in an overlapping manner until it feels as smooth as you like. Once the entire car has been clayed, it's a case of rinsing all the product off there and then getting ready to dry. And that will be next week's video. So once again, big thank you to Dodo Juice for sponsoring this and supplying all of the products. If you'd like to try and win these products today, simply leave a comment below on why we should pick you. Also, make sure you go and follow us over on Instagram as well at DetailingWorldOfficial. If you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please make sure you smash that like button. If you're not subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. We've got more of these videos coming up. You can also check the previous episodes in the playlist over here, and we'll see you in the next video.